Welcome to day 25 of the 30-day holiday video challenge. Today we're making a really easy and delicious garlic bread pull-apart. Hi there foodie friends, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel Adventures in Yum. Before we get into today's video, I have a passion for learning about creating and trying new foods, drinks, and especially desserts. If you want to join me on my yummy adventures, and especially during this challenge, then please make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos every week. Now, let's get into today's video. To start, we're roasting some garlic. We first cut the tops off of our bulbs. For this garlic bread, I recommend anywhere between 4 to 8 bulbs of garlic depending on how strong you want the flavor. I decided to go for a really strong taste, so I'm roasting 8. So I actually realized that after I prepared this part, I somehow forgot to record it, but it's still all good. We simply spray a piece of heavy-duty aluminum foil with non-stick cooking spray, place our bulbs of garlic on it, generously drizzle them with olive oil, salt, and ground black pepper. We wrap up our package and then bake it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how roasted we want the garlic. I personally went for the full hour and a half because of how many bulbs I was baking, and I like it really roasted. While the garlic is roasting, we prep our dough by adding 3 cups or 420 grams of all-purpose flour to a large mixing bowl. To the flour, we're adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We give that a quick whisk, and then we add 1 cup or about 245 grams of recently fed sourdough starter and about 3/4 cup or 177 milliliters of whole milk. This is actually the same exact dough recipe as the one I made in my rolled coffin pizzas video towards the beginning of this challenge. We use a rubber spatula to mix this together until it mostly comes together, and then we use our clean hands to bring the rest of the dough together in one cohesive ball of dough. We stop mixing at this point and then start to divide the dough into smaller pieces. We then roll each piece of dough into a ball and set it aside while we work on the rest. For one batch of dough, I usually wind up with about 32 pieces or so. We also want to make a star, so we combine 2 of the smaller dough balls and shape it into a star. On a foil-lined baking sheet that's been sprayed with non-stick cooking spray, we arrange our dough balls into the shape of a tree with the star at the top. Once we have our tree shape, we cover the pan with foil and bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. If you want softer pieces of bread, leave the foil on for the full 40 minutes. But if you want a little bit more of a crust on the outside of the bread, leave the foil on for 30 minutes and then remove it for the final 10 minutes. While the bread bakes, we're preparing our roasted garlic butter. Before we finish this scrumptious garlic bread, if you're getting value out of this video, then please make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified about my latest video. After the garlic has been out of the oven and cooled for a little while, we're squeezing the bulbs to remove the roasted garlic. Once we add all of our roasted garlic to a mixing bowl, we add 1 stick or half a cup or 110 grams of unsalted butter and mix that together. We then add a pinch or about 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, and 1/4 cup or about 30 grams of grated Parmesan cheese. We mix that all up until it's well combined. Once the bread tree has baked for 40 minutes, we turn the temperature to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 191 degrees Celsius. We then add the garlic butter to our bread tree. I almost forgot to mention that I like to poke the tip of a paring knife into the tops of the bread balls. That way some of the garlic butter will seep into the rolls as it bakes. After spreading the butter mixture all over the bread, you'll probably wind up with some leftover, so we set that aside to save it for later if we want to add more butter to our rolls. We then top it with shredded mozzarella cheese. I feel that when making something like this, cheese is measured with your heart, but my estimate for the amount that I used is about 1 to 1.5 cups or 120 to 180 grams. We bake this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 191 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then an optional finish to the bake time is broiling it for a couple of minutes. This is so tasty and so much fun. The little pieces of bread are like itty bitty dinner rolls that are soft on the inside and have a little bit of a crust on the outside. So yummy, and I really hope that you give this a try. You can also find this savory pull-apart garlic bread on my website, adventuresinyum.net. The link is in the description below. Make sure to come back tomorrow for day 26 because we're making Christmas cinnamon rolls. If you're interested in checking out some of the products that I used in this video, please make sure to check out the video description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, foodie friends. I'll see you next time for another cheerful, yummy adventure.